While the DMV area is certainly not the most active rail fanning place in the country, it does have some great train action if you know where to look. For my 300 subscriber special, I'm going to be counting down my top 5 rail fanning locations within 100 miles of our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. So without further ado, let's get on with the countdown. I'm going to start off with somewhere that I've done a lot of rail fanning at, and that's South Manassas, Virginia. Just 3 miles south of the downtown Manassas district is this location next to the Broad Run Airport. It is a great rail fanning location because it's one of the few places you can catch VRE, the B line, and the Washington District action all in one location. VRE's Manassas line uses this line and runs about 18 trains a day. As well as that, NS's B line cuts off at the Manassas Powell Y and gets on here, so you will also see the 20 trains a day that operate on the B line. As well as all of that, you'll also catch the 6 daily Washington District locals and rock trains. On occasion, you'll also catch NS 64A, which is an as-needed oil train running from Port Gulf, Mississippi to Alexandria, Virginia. But it is as needed, so there's no definite time you can see this train. This is also a great place to catch NS Heritage units, possibly one of the best in the area. Taking number 4 on my list is none other than Alexandria, Virginia. If you love Amtrak, this is the location for you. Every Amtrak train going south out of Washington, D.C. Union Station passes through this location, going from long-distance trains like the Crescent and the Silver Service to Northeast Regionals and the Carolinian. VRE's 2 lines, the Fredericksburg line and Manassas line, operate through here, running about 30 trains a day combined. As well as that, this is on CSX's most active main line in Virginia, the RF&P subdivision, and they operate 25 to 30 trains a day, ranging from intermodals, manifests, and coal trains. Norfolk Southern also operates 2 locals a day through this location, and they can be seen usually at night. If you're looking for train-on-train action that isn't the Northeast Corridor, Alexandria is definitely the location for you. And taking number 3 on my list is Seabrook, Maryland. Before I continue, please subscribe to Amtrak CSX Mark Fan for letting me use his footage in the number 3 spot and the number 2 spot. Anyway, Seabrook is on Amtrak's heavy Northeast Corridor. It sees all the Northeast Corridor Amtrak trains, plus 10 MARC trains going each direction a day on the MARC Penn line. This location also sees CSX's Pope Creek coal trains and rock train. This is one of the few locations where you can see long-distance CSX trains under wire, so that makes it very unique. I highly recommend Seabrook if you're anywhere near it. It is also one of the places where Amtrak reaches their top speeds, ranging from 115 to 125 miles an hour. Taking the number 2 spot on this list is muirkirk, Maryland and Riverdale, Maryland. These 2 locations I'm counting for one because they're only 3 miles apart and they are on the same line. Both these locations are on the CSX Capital Sub and the MARC Camden line. These locations see 50 to 60 trains a day, 2/3 of them being CSX. Because this line is not a cab signal line, auto rack trains, coal trains, and oil trains run on this line that did not take the CSX RF&P that we saw in number 4. This makes this line great for getting not only some awesome classic leaders, but also some great foreign power. Like this foreign power. Oh my gosh! Boom! KCSSB 70M! Oh my god! Oh my god! Paramex! I love Perryville! Anyway, be sure to subscribe to Amtrak CSX Mark Fan for providing me with this footage. And before we get on to our number 1 spot, it's time for some honorable mentions. Ashland, Virginia. Don't get me wrong, Ashland's a great location to rail fan with some really nice trackside restaurants and Tiny Tim's Toys, which is a great train store. It's just that so much of the CSX action on the RFP has been moved to nighttime, mostly manifests and trash trains. You don't see that many CSX trains in Ashland. It's mostly an all-Amtrak show now. If you want to go rail fan in Ashland and see lots of CSX, I suggest going from 5 p.m. onwards. Virginia. Boy, it absolutely kills me now to put this place on my list, because I have been rail fanning here since I was 1 year old, and that was 13 years ago. 13 years of rail fanning memories here, though, has not covered up that it does not get much freight action whatsoever. Seeing only 6 to 8 freight trains a day, it's really not worth your time when you can drive 10 minutes and go to South Manassas to see 30 freight trains a day. I don't know. Don't get me wrong, Burke's cool to rail fan at, but if I could pick between Burke and South Manassas for action, I'd pick South Manassas. And with those two honorable mentions out of our way, it is time for our #1 rail fanning spot within 100 miles of Washington, D.C. I hope you all are ready, because the location I'm about to name is by far my favorite rail fanning location within 100 miles of our nation's capital. This location, it has 3 different main lines, one of which is the most active in the country, Amtrak's Northeast Corridor, seeing over 100 trains a day. This location has a Y, which connects Manassas Port Road Branch and Amtrak's Northeast Corridor. About a mile north is the CSX Philadelphia subdivision, which is highly active, seeing about 30 trains a day, all of which are freight trains. This location, when I first visited, was amazing. I saw over 40 trains in the span of 5 hours. You can't get much better than that in Northern Virginia or Maryland. My favorite rail fanning location within 100 miles of DC is none other than Perryville, Maryland. This location is amazing. The Northeast Corridor and the Mark Camden line get over 100 trains a day. The Port Road Bridge is great because it fills the nights when Amtrak doesn't run many trains, with seeing 20 trains after hours. The CSX Philadelphia subdivision is amazing too. This is one of the few locations in our country where you can see everything. You can literally see CSX, NS, Amtrak, and MARC, which are the 4 main railroads working in Maryland. This is by far the greatest rail fanning location that I've ever been to within 100 miles of DC, and I hope you'll consider checking it out. That's it, guys. Those were my top 5 best rail fanning locations within 100 miles of DC. Hope you liked this video, because it took a lot of time. Also, please remember to subscribe to Amtrak CSX Mark Fan and the people that are in the description that made the music that I used in this video. That's all, guys. See you next time.